After a dangerous car accident, I called my husband and said, please pick me up. From the ER, he texted, I'm at lunch with my female friend. Can't come right now, I simply replied, okay. But when the police walked straight to his table at the restaurant and said those words, he wished he had never sent that reply. I'm Ronald, a man of 28 years, old from Boston, a city, full of history and a lot of heart. I want to share a story not about love, but about its end, about how a quiet moment can be louder than any explosion. The fluorescent lights above me hummed like dying insects. My blood was still drying on my forehead when I pressed my cell phone against my trembling palm and called him my husband. The man who swore to cherish me through thick and thin. He didn't answer. A message blinked across my cracked screen. Instead, I'm at lunch with my best friend Jenny. I can't just leave. I stared at it. For a long time, the pain in my ribs, competing with the coldness in my chest. My thumb hovered, then I typed 2 letters. Okay, that was the exact moment our marriage ended. Not the car crash, not the impact of metal against metal, not the way strangers pulled me from the wreck and carried me to safety. No, the end came with his refusal, disguised as a simple text message. We had once been beautiful together. He was the man who held my hand during storms, the man who made me laugh until my face ached. I had trusted in him, in us, but betrayal has a smell. Subtle at first, a different cologne on his shirt, a laugh that wasn't for me, the way his phone angled away when I came into a room I didn't accuse, I observed. Each detail silently tucked into my memory. His calendar filled with sudden late appointments, his desire for closeness fading while his phone buzzed late into the night. The best friend he never properly introduced me to, always an excuse, always a reason. I never screamed, I never pleaded. That wasn't my style. When the accident happened, something inside me changed. I had a choice. I could crumble under the weight of his indifference, or I could forge it into a weapon. So I planned silently, methodically. I began with a lawyer, a lady with steel in her backbone and precision. In her words, I gave her everything, every bank statement, every hidden credit card, every photograph of him with his friend I had collected over months. She smiled at me like a doctor about to make a clean cut. Next, I contacted the police, not to punish him yet, but to prepare. There were things he didn't know, like the fact his name was still listed as my emergency contact, legally responsible if I couldn't drive myself, and when I couldn't walk straight from the emergency room, they had to call him. I simply didn't correct them. When the officer walked into that restaurant, I was already miles ahead. I imagined his face fork in midair, his laughter frozen when the uniformed officer placed a hand on his shoulder. The restaurant quieted conversations. Paused. The officer's voice was clear and deliberate. Sir, your wife has been in a serious vehicle accident, she listed. You as her emergency contact. She's waiting at the hospital alone. The way his best friend Jenny must have lowered her eyes, the way his smile must have cracked, the way everyone must have seen the truth he had hidden in the shadows. He went pale, the officer told me later, but I didn't wait for him. By then I was already signing divorce papers from my hospital bed. The fallout was surgical. The lawyer filed quickly. Adultery meant leverage. Every asset he tried to hide, she found. Every lie he tried to tell, she dismantled. His reputation fell apart. Word spreads quickly when a man is called out of a restaurant by the police while dining with another woman. Everyone had suspicions, but no one had proof. His colleagues whispered, his friends distanced themselves. Even his relatives looked at him differently. I didn't yell. I didn't seek revenge and disorder. I let silence do the work, silence and truth. When he finally came to the hospital hours late, I was already gone. Discharge papers filed, keys returned, bank accounts frozen. All that remained was the echo of his own decision. The text message that became his admission. I think about that moment. Sometimes not the crash, not the physical pain, but the officer's words at his table. How in a single breath his double life collapsed around him. How he must have looked at the woman across from him and realized she was no longer a secret, but the symbol of his undoing. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't regret what I did. He taught me something. That day in the emergency room, that betrayal is not loud, it's quiet. It's not the car crash that shatters you, it's the message that follows. And revenge. Revenge doesn't need fire, it Only needs precision. When I left, I didn't look back because the best punishment I could give him wasn't anger, it was my absence. Subscribe now to Home. Exposed so you never miss the next crazy story.